it was very cheap. So let's say if this was a good buy or it was just wasting of money, because that's how you risk it, right? Oh, come on. Sorry, I have to do it with one hand. Let me put you here for a sec. Yeah, she's fucked. Like proper fucked. Oh. Yeah, I was wasting of money. She's fucked. Look at the propeller. It's proper fucked. Shit. Ah. Alright. It will be good. But it's not. GTB 2260 VK. Shit. Alright then. Yeah, you see it's all rusty. Well, the rust doesn't really matter as soon as it's healthy inside, but he bloody is not healthy inside, not at all. Look at that. Oh well. So back on the 1.9 TDI. This is the turbo GTB 2260, and yeah, it was a bit fucked. You can tell from the loads of play. Wheel is fucked. Good point is that the compressor housing is dirty, but it's good. No scratches. This is the new core. That's the new vanes. I changed them because there is a crack in one of them. So that's the new core. Like I said, vanes, some of them, one of them was a bit cracked. Not broken, but cracked. Can't find it now. Has it cleaned it? Well, one of them. No broken, but cracked. I don't want to take any risks, so there is a new one here. Assemble new core, new vanes, so pretty much we only gonna run the exhaust housing, the compressor housing, and the cage that goes on the top here, which I have to find a new bolt because one of them yeah, didn't come off. This is how I took it off, one of these. So no bad. And there you go, pretty much new turbo, new core, new vanes. Clean the compressor housing. There's no damage there whatsoever. That's good. So there you go. So we're just checking the turbo position in there and all that stuff, and you know what, I think I'm not gonna bother to make exhaust manifold. I'm just gonna use this. If you look at this, they actually kind of like very compact, obviously, but kind of like tubular onto here, and these two they actually join here but very directional, and they go 1 and 2, and these join into actually much bigger diameter, so it's not bad. Both sides, this one and this one, they're kind of like divided to some point, so this is not going straight into 90 degree. This is like again in the same direction, and then when they join these two, they got like a nice, well, not nice, but fairly good, you can't see it from here, but fairly good divider. Is like they again in the same direction, so I don't think this is too restrictive, to be honest. Yeah, I could make it tubular manifold, but I'm not gonna be bothered. It's not worth it. It's gonna be time, so just pour this out, weld this flange on it, probably very redneck style, put the turbo on, and it's gonna work. Just make a plano. This is obviously shit, so definitely make an equal flow plano, but exhaust, nah, it's gonna be this 5 minutes job against 3 days job.
In my opinion, you're getting next to nothing on a turbo that small.
No, not on this, exactly, not on this fucker. If that was the S300, for example, maybe different story. But this is, I mean, restriction is, it's not even, this is alright for this engine. This is not far, and again, it's like as soon you get slightly lower, it opens up.
Yeah, exactly.
So just port it, match it, like it's no big difference.
Engines are only as good as their, things can only flow as well as their biggest restriction.
Yeah.
And there's no way that's the biggest restriction.
Well, no, because it's like going bigger here, same direction. As they join here again, it's kind of directional. This restriction here seems really to be at the top because it's very like conical. So as soon you port it, it opens up down there. So
the thing, the different, you imagine the amount of daylight you're now going to see through those ports once that's opened up.
Oh yeah.
Compared to, it's no different to the Volvo one. It's nearly all about the collector. Yeah,
exactly. So
because when you look at these runners, they're not that small.
No, they're not small at all. They're not small at all.
You know.
And again, it's like they all go in the same direction.
They actually flow nicely straight away as well. There's no step. I imagine the step there, but there's not.
Yeah, no, it's like.
They could
you see,
do a bit of smoothing out, but apart from that, smoothing out the cast if you really wanted to.
Pour them a little bit. That's it. And if you break it, it's like 15 quid for one. So yeah, my exhaust manifold making it even quicker and simpler. So and we're just waiting for the cam injectors, and we got the turbo rebuilt. Took us what, half an hour with cleaning, and that's it. Well, we still have to convert it to this, but at least we're getting somewhere. I like it because now is pretty much that style. Make it easy, make it quick, make it cheap, and great results.
Yeah, that's what tuning cars are all about for me.
Yeah.
Best result.
So like you say, if you spend £1 million, obviously has to go fast. This way it's just.
I would be amazed if you gained on that turbo anything you'd feel.
No, not much. Again, even if there is any small difference, definitely not worth 3 days of work. As much as I'm always on tubular manifolds and all that stuff, but this time
it's different for different things. For this level,
yeah, this is alright. This turbo is what, only 330 brakes capable.
Exactly.
So
it's not as if you're going twin scroll and stuff like that. That's when it's suddenly worth the money, because you're drastically changing the spool as well. But on something relatively low power, that is plenty, in my opinion.
Because it saves me 3 days off work, which I don't really have that much time.
Exactly.
So it suits me perfectly.
Exactly. That's where I look.
To be honest, making exhaust manifold on this is just to say, yeah, obviously I made myself exhaust manifold because I made them. But that's pretty much it.
But you got other things to make.
Exactly.
You could make it in the future when you put an S300 on it.
Ah, there you go. We know where this is going. Right. So next day in the morning, still dark because I keep the door shut down. It's quite freezing today. Yesterday was nice and warm, but today is freezing again. Oh well, it's winter. So what we're doing with this is, yes, I decided not to build exhaust manifold because, like I showed you, it's not, the original is not that restrictive, not for this turbo, not for this kind of power, I think. Sure, it will be slightly better to have a tubular one, but the difference in performance gains is so minimal, it's not worth for me to spend all the time to build exhaust manifold, find the turbo position, all the stuff, because turns out with this exhaust manifold and this turbo position is actually very good. I'm happy with that. So, and it saves me like 3-4 days of work, so fuck it, I don't really have that much time for me, actually, because it's like, if you say 4 days of labor for me to work on my own count, that means 2 weekends, 2 full weekends, and I have to stay away from the kids. So it's very valuable, that time, you know what I mean? So you can save it, that's much better. And I spend that time to actually do the wiring and fire this thing up. You still have to change the fuel from petrol to diesel, flush it out, and clean it, and get the diesel, make sure the pump is suitable, have a look on the filter, if it's good enough for the diesel instead of petrol, and all the small things. Connect to the electrics, to the existing electrics, get some gauges in. There's still plenty of work to get it functional 100%, so I'd rather spend time on that one. Actually, let me show you the turbo position. Let me just grab it one hand because it's not that easy to hold it there. Now luckily I can't lower this anymore because the silver is here. I don't want to push it back, I don't want to fire it up because this is diesel in this cold weather. When she starts, she smokes as hell because obviously modified pump, too much diesel goes even on the idle, so it will smoke the place up. I don't want to ventilate it because I'm gonna lose all the heat I gained in the workshop. So let me just put the light on so you can see it better. And actually nice because I can step on this crash bar, very strong. So all right, let me just put the turbo from probably from here, from the bottom there. No, that's not good. Let me do it from the top here. It's gonna be slightly more difficult, but there you go. Okay, so you see, now pay attention to the drive shaft. It clears well more than it needs. Exhaust is in the perfect position, but look also at the compressor housing outlet. It is facing exactly where the intercooler is gonna be. That's gonna be very short away. That's like in perfect position. Couldn't ask for any better. The oil return line, it will still fit. Obviously, you have to modify it slightly longer. Everything is just good. It clears the plenum. Well, the actuator is gonna be in a good place above the subframe here, so it's not in the way of everything. It's just good and it's simple. And I like it. Oh, let me just get this out because it's quite heavy holding in this awkward position. Ooh, don't fall off. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now, usually I see people, what they do, they weld, which makes sense, they weld the, turn the light off. They weld the exhaust manifold straight into the turbine housing, which makes sense, but I think I'm just gonna weld this flange to the exhaust manifold so I can actually bolt and unbolt this turbo. If I have to change it, if something breaks and you actually break the housing or whatever, you don't have to change the whole exhaust manifold and all that stuff. Plus I got the exhaust manifold already, so I'm gonna use that one. I think that one is from the Passat, not from the Golf. Hence the turbo changes a little bit because the Golf, I think, has the turbo much closer to the block. This is further away, but gives me more space for the drive shaft. Don't even know if I need it or not, but it does. Also another thing, the actuator for the VNT is here, and look at it. It's actually, if you remove this bolt here, that will actually bolt on it. It's pretty much, well, almost there. Just redrill the holes probably, and the only thing is that that lever there catches on this tiny bit, so you kind of have to notch it a little, maybe both, tiny bit, nothing major. Another option is to cut it and weld it back on a slight angle, so we'll do this and then go there, so you got this space for that lever here. Don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You should put it there. You see, it's catching already a little bit. Nothing magic, probably to drill the holes in this position, but just to make it like from there to here, it's only is about, I don't know, 2-3 mil, and that will be enough. So that's working great. This is working great. To put a flange on a manifold is honestly probably half an hour, because you need to preheat the cast when you weld the cast, especially to stainless, well, to anything. You have to preheat it and then weld up nice and stronger. But no, it's gonna take me longer, about an hour, because I want to pull that exhaust manifold. It is good, but I want to match obviously the outlet with the flange, which on that side is slightly smaller. I want to match the exhaust ports with the manifold as well. Just make it flow good, you know, improve a little bit everywhere. So just making sure everything looks right. Plenum, well, you know what plenums, I like these ones because it's easy to modify. You just chop it across there, and then I build my equal flow plenum from here. It's very easy, very simple. It takes me no time. Not long. So, where's the exhaust manifold? Look how beautiful it is. No, that's not the one, that's not the one. It's this abomination. It's actually not too bad. Let me put the light on. I've ported it inside. It's actually fairly alright. So I'm okay with this, I think. Let me just grab one of the rods, filling rods. I'll show you. If there's like a separation there, so this goes from one side and this goes from the other angle. So they kind of, let me explain. They go both directions. Like one part is this way, and the other part is this way. So they're both facing kind of up. Yes, pretty much like this, roughly. You can't see it from this angle, but yeah, no, this one is this way and this is like from the bottom. So they kind of go both the same direction, which is pretty good. Sure, it's nothing like this, but it's decent for the Lockstream manifold. So I'm alright with this. I'm not 100% happy, but I'm alright. And one sported, all nice and smooth all around there. So yeah, you can actually see the ports. Welded inside. This is not really strong out inside because it's more of a seal and preheat seal, you know, just remove all the gaps. Sometimes instead of match porting it completely, like every single tape of a mill, I just doing a pass of weld, so it makes everything smooth. And yeah, welded around. I've done like 5-6 passes all around, so it should be alright. Strangely enough, this thing didn't really warp that much, only a tiny bit on the edges, so maybe I don't even have to skim this. I can just leave it like this, which is surprised because obviously when you roll it around it will pull it against the manifold, so you should bend like a banana, to be honest. But well, let's not talk too early. Let's cool it down and then see what shape it will take. It definitely gets some heat, so you see the whole flange turn nearly blue. So yeah, there was some heat in there. And yeah, this is how it will actually sit. There you go. Like stock. Now I know people chop this off, use a beamer turbos, all different exhaust housings, and they just weld them straight to the exhaust manifold. But to be honest, if one day I want to change it, I want to take it apart or whatever, just 3 bolts, remove it, change it and replace it, or whatever you have to do. Because I kind of like the idea of having the EGT's port for the sensor ready here. No big deal, you can just weld them on. I mean, you can put one here, this one you can remove it, just put a plate, straight plate, or just put the fittings in there. I'm probably gonna run a back pressure fitting in there. I think that would be enough. EGT here, which is pretty good because you have all 4 cylinders into one. This is the crucial port. This is the most the most heat you got here at the point when everything concentrates into one. So I think that's a good point. Well, that's why Audi uses it there, probably not inside the exhaust manifold. So I'm happy with that position. Maybe I got some adapters. No, that's way too big. But I got some stuff over here. Maybe I can find. Well, this looks like one. Let's have a look. Thread looks different, I think. No, well, there you go. You see? Keeping old stuff. Never been that stuff. Keep it. There you go. And from this one, I can actually run sensors. Okay, this is a water sensor, temp sensor, but it doesn't matter. The EGT is exactly the same thread, same pattern. So there you go, and you put the sensor there. Come on, fit, you know, one like this. Obviously not this one, like I said, but there you go. We get adapter, EGT sensor there. Saves me even more time. I like it. Make it quick. This is supposed to be 3-4 days job, and we're here already. I've done it in the morning because I came here very early and we already done it. So I'm gonna cool it down just because I like it. I'm gonna put 2 bolts on it. I'm gonna mount it on the engine. I'm gonna mount the turbo on the engine, just, you know, with a few bolts, just to have it there, just to make me happy. Look, that's done. It's supposed to be in 2 weeks time, because again, 4 days of work, it means 4 weekends, 2 weeks, and I've done it in no time, couple of hours between yesterday measuring and doing all the stuff and preheating this and find the position and weld it up. EGT sensor is already there. Back pressure sensor is gonna be here, and then on the downpipe obviously we're gonna put EFR sensor as well for the mapping. I don't think I'm gonna build the engine completely yet. And now I keep thinking about this, but I just want it back on the road now. So probably gonna, I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't want to plan anything. I just want it as soon as possible. I'm just, you know, I'm not in a rush, but I am very impatient with this. Very impatient. I want it just back on the road, jump in and drive it. Even if it makes 100 bricks less than it's supposed to. Fuck it. I want it back. All right. I'll see you in a bit. So what I'm supposed to do this week is done. Half the manifolds are done, but more than half. Turbos are on, test fitted, all good. So now is about nearly 6 o'clock on Friday in afternoon. So enough with the van and back on the mission. And mission for this weekend is make the crazy frog great again. So yeah, should we make it great again?
Yes.
Get it started.
Playtime.
Yeah. This is for us now. Make it smile. And to be honest, you know what? This is one of something to say. You were absolutely right. If I was pursuing this road, K24 turbo, I would not be as happy as I am now.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about.
Honestly, I'm not kidding you. I'm shitting you not. I was there. I was like, I got enough. I want to go home. I was like, it's Friday, 6. You can start work on your car.
Yeah. So
there you go. Back on it.
And that's what. Yeah. If you don't feel that about a modified car, probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You're probably doing it wrong. Do you know what I mean?
And this was, as much as it sounds and it looks right and it makes sense, it wasn't that.
No, it was just a lot of money and fucking worrying.
How many times I was here moaning about? You're like, I know it's so good, but I don't know. How many times I moan about this since I put it on?
Never.
Not once.
What's there to moan about?
Nothing. It's just great. Above all the bits to rebuild the engine, cheap as pennies. It's just good. It's like I'll probably get it running this weekend. So, you know, everything is going down the hill. It's like very easy. The CV joint works out to be actually very easy to convert. So we got the Volkswagen drive shafts into the Toyota hubs. Turbo is in position with the exhaust manifold done. Very easy. Turns out I had a flange for this turbo. What's the odds? Actually, that flange is, I've ordered that one for the Volvo turbo for the T2 1.9 TDI conversion I've done, and it arrived wrong. This is what arrived for this turbo. So yeah, what's the odds? But we get in there. So another engine mount on the front, because this I know is not enough. It will twist the subframe. And yeah, electrics, which they here, pile of them, a lot of mess. I'm gonna probably remove a lot of these wires because not necessary, no needed. And then fuel system, connect that wiring to the car and get it started.
I can't wait.
Maybe next weekend I'll be able to put it back on the road. Kind of like moving, not finished, because then you need gauges and all the stuff.
Yeah, it's not far off though.
No.
Yeah. It's not even my project and I'm excited about it. That says a lot, I think. It's like,
yeah,
it's awesome.
Pure fun.
That's what that should be. Fun, nothing else.
Let's go on with it. Right, so the last bit just arrived. Obviously the camber kit and everything. Now, I'm not gonna touch the head at all because I'm getting obviously the bigger cam and the refresher coming inside, the buckets and all the stuff. Probably these rollers as well. There's some wear on them. Let me turn the light on. You can probably see. So the whole lot, but not now. So I'm gonna just remove it completely as it is, not taking it apart. Right, so actually I took the cam off, I took it apart. I was like, well, you're doing this now, just do it properly, do it in once. And good thing I've done it, because the caps on the top caps on the bottom from the camshaft, they look alright. Not bad at all. While you slightly worn, you can see some signs over there where slide, you can see this like warming out. But the bottom ones, they are pretty much fucked. You can see it. That's not the way it should be. So that's a couple of other things. Let me just put this head on this side, and I've just cracked them loose because one of these, you can't see it. Fuck, let me just take it off completely. One of these glow plugs was showing some damage on the tip. You see, it's like burned out. So it's like, you know what, just replace them. Again, pennies, quite cheap, so why not? Also, I took the water pump out. It's good, I ordered the whole full kit, and something started to go wrong with it. It's like, this bit here, I don't know, it was spinning inside, or definitely right, so this has to be replaced. So there you go, more bits. We were thinking, we were thinking to just, just do the wiring loom and leave the engine alone, just run it. And because they're stronger, as strong as they can be, obviously it is a lot up to how people use these engines, how people take care of them, service them and all the stuff. Obviously this engine doesn't look to be abused because you have a standard turbo, so you can't push too much power through them, and they can handle like 2-3 times the power that they do originally, so that's not a problem. Doesn't seem to be abused, and the cam belt and all that stuff looks fairly decent. Still need to be changed, but nothing like, very smashed or anything. So I'm happy with this. However, you see the cam was, the bearings of the cam was wore out, so it's a good job I'm doing this and taking everything apart and refresh it, because it will most likely bite me back very soon, because on these beats, once you increase the power, it won't last too long. So as strong as it could be, I will most likely damage it very quickly. So I'm happy in taking this apart. It's gonna take me longer obviously, but again, we saved probably 3-4 days by not building exhaust manifold, so I'm okay with this anyway. Of course, I'm in a rush. Well, not in a rush, but I'm anxious to have it back on the road, but let's not lose my mind and do it properly, because I don't want to do it twice. And usually with my stuff, that's what I do, rush it, because it's just fuck it, just run it, and then I have to do the job twice, and I'm not happy. I'm not doing this mistake again. So do it properly. Yeah, gonna get the cam straight away, the big cam and the bushes and everything, and then it's pretty much complete. All I have to wait for is the injectors, which I can't buy them now. I have to wait because they're quite expensive, and I spent tons of money on the K24, which I didn't use. These bits also, yes, they're cheap, but when you have tons of them arriving, it's like cheap. That's also cheap. All together, it's some money spent on it, so you got to be careful with that as well. All right, let's take this off now. Does it come off? Yeah, now it comes off, I think. There you go. Put it with the rest of the bits. Stuff is accumulating very quickly, and this is another thing. We're gonna machine the pistons out. Put the lights on. These needs to be enlarged, slightly bigger, from 38 to 42 mil. This looks like a stand-up block. This head was never pulled apart. I checked on the head and it's like never been schemed. Original gasket, so that's a good sign. But yeah, have to clean it all. Obviously, before putting back together, we have to clean these, but that's very easy. And I checked the pistons, how much of a slab they have. What was that? Don't know. That might be maybe me when I was putting the head off. But that looks alright. It looks decent, all the same color. That doesn't seem too much. Very minimal, so I think it's in good condition. Well, we have to pull them off anyway to change the conrods, so let's do it. Alright, we got cylinders off, well, pistons, sorry, everything is off, and it's not really in a great condition. There are some carbon deposit, which is normal on them, so I'm not worried about that. You can clean it, you can also wipe brush it and everything, clean all the stuff. Bring them back to nearly new, that's alright. But this one here is a little bit, yeah, how can I say it, damaged. There you go. Not really great. I cannot put this one back on. no chance. So this one has to be replaced. And surprise, surprise, I bought one just now on eBay, second hand. It's exactly the same size, original. I don't want to go for new one from different make. I prefer them just, you know, used in good condition, but genuine Volkswagen ones. If I have to replace for the new ones, it will have to be all of them. So clean it up, brake unit everywhere, up and down. Shame this block. Well, I was tempted to paint it and refresh and all that stuff, but I'm gonna be here ages to remove all the bit of greasy bits and all that stuff. To be honest, can't be bothered. I don't want to do it. Plus, it'll be very flashy in there if it's like red or yellow, you know, the stuff. Just gonna leave it as it is. You know, it doesn't have to look all the mint and beautiful outside. I want the good stuff inside. So keep cleaning obviously the inside there for the old coolant where it was. I'm gonna pass a bit of refresh the cylinders, the balls a little bit, scratch them a little because they pretty much shiny. I don't know if you can see it, like a mirror polished, which is not good. And that's it. And then start rebuilding this. Obviously, like I say, bit of a shame I don't have the complete pistons because I could just close the whole engine today. This is why I can't, but at least I can put the crank on, change all the bearings. I can put 3 of the pistons with the rods. One will have to wait, and in meantime probably refresh the head as well. Maybe because I have to wait, on Monday I'm gonna take this head to the machining shop, take it all apart, and let them recut the valves, check them if they're alright, maybe seals as well. Let's see. We're going forward, slightly bit slower, but forward. Look at the mess. Right, so the crank is in, all nice and tight, new bearings, and yeah, it still spins freely, so that's good. It's not seized because that would be worrying. So good. Didn't need the polishing. Maybe it would do with just a lip, but to be honest, it's nothing, so I'm not worried about it. So now is about to get these pistons clean nicely, and then yeah, change the con rods and put them in. Takes some time, does it? There you go. Piston is cleaned, clean enough. Clean the rings, the galleries inside for the rings, the oil retention ring and everything. Bushes inside are good. There's not even a sign of wear, so that's okay. I'm happy with that. Now it's time to get some rods on it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, obviously in time, because we don't stop. We don't have a time to stop. And get these beautiful rods out and put them on. So yeah, but I'm gonna stop, have my lunch quickly and start assembling the stuff. This is not the way I would love to do it, because I would like to get the new pistons and all that stuff, but fuck it. This is already good enough, you know. Surprise, surprise, this original rods, they're not too bad. It looks fairly strong and good quality, so I guess you don't even have to change the rods probably. It's just, you know, these are so cheap. And actually, let me put it, let me open up on you, and let's see the comparison. So on your H-beam, they're probably lighter. I don't know, maybe. So this is how they look like. Now the H-beam that makes them stronger, this design. But again, these don't look weak anyway. So you put them on or not, don't really matter, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna clean it, make sure it's all good. Put the piston on, put the new bearings in. After we're in, I'm gonna do one at a time, because obviously this job is not as it should be anyway, because we're missing one of the pistons. So I can take it steady and not in the right sequence, doesn't matter. Alright, let's put them on. Right, so torque the crank in, still spins freely. To be honest, I don't know, there's something very satisfying about when you build the engines. Well, this is just rebuild, not completely build, just refreshed. But you clean the crank, you clean the crankcase, the block and everything inside. You can, it's like nothing is, it's completely clean, spot on. Then fresh oil, everything is just clean. The crank, even if this, the inside this oil galleries, everything. I'm actually spending quite a lot of time on this because I like it do it this way, you know. Then you put the bearings and it spins like with one finger very freely. I like it. So now it's time to put these rods in and pistons. Shame is only 3 of them, but there you go. This piston is actually very clean inside. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like very clean, good material. I like it. And I was going to machine these pistons out. This obviously the chambers ports or whatever you called, but I'll do it later. I'll show you how to. I've seen one guy actually on the internet was doing that way and was like very clever. The stupidest way, the way you shouldn't do it, but it's simple way to do it. It is actually makes sense and it's simpler and it's better. And yeah, it definitely can. So now we're gonna put the oil on the rings, on the pistons everywhere, obviously on the main caps, on the bearings, and clean the compressor. Look at it. It's a bit old now. It's been some time I haven't used it. Compress the rings and put them in. Right, now with the con rods in and pistons in, you won't be able to full rotate the crank by hand, only obviously because the pistons, they have to go up and down in the ball, and that's just not possible just with the hand. But if you have it on top dead center, so these are the middle ones that are completely up and these ones completely down, you have this bit of a neutral movement. So this moves a little bit before obviously the pistons move, or they just move very tiny bit that doesn't make any friction. So you can feel it's like just tuning with your hands, you know, just with the fingers. There you go, and it moves freely. That's good. I think that's it for today. There's nothing else I can do. Bit pissed off, what can I say? All this mess is gonna be here till I got the new piston arriving. Crap! What can I do? Nothing, just wait.